In the Shang Dynasty, this piece was to keep the wine. It was used in the ritual to the ancestor or to other ceremony, to the wind, to the sun, to all the spirits. And under the Shang Dynasty, you have different shape in order to keep the wine. This one was to keep the wine and was a quite rare shape at that time, at the beginning of Anyang period or Yin-Su period. For me, according all the pieces I saw during my life, I think it's one of the most important bronze of this shape. It's the decoration, it's all around the vessel. You have a change in the bronze, and the bronze have all the bodies with decoration and a large Taotie mask on a Lewen background. It's very rare, and it's exceptional by the casting, by the patination, and by the quality of the design. I first meet this piece in Sotheby's, London, in '78 when they sold the collection of Dr. Phillips. Then after, the piece was bought by GT Ties, a major dealer in States at that time, and GT Tie was a good friend and also was one of my teachers. And I was able to see the piece in his house, not in his shop, in his house. And one day I was lucky, he sold to me much later, I think in around 87, 88. The casting is wonderful, the weight is perfect, the design, you can look how deep is the design, and it's cover all the piece, and the Taotie mask is wonderful. You can see the dragon, the two dragons who make the Taotie, you see the Lewen, the background in Lewen, and the patination, it's one of the best patination for such bronze. So we are really in front of one of the best pieces for this type. And when you touch, when you have the piece, you have a feeling, and you think at those people who create the piece, and they make it with all the feeling and all the religion they got, because it was something for the ancestor and for the spirit. So it was very important, especially in the Chinese culture. Oh, it was very difficult because at that time they used the technique of multi-mold. And much later, the Chinese, around the 5th, 6th century BC, they use the lost wax techniques. In Europe, we only use the lost wax technique, which is much easier. You make a mold in wax and you cast your bronze. Multi-mold, you have to make one shape in pottery, then to make a copy of it, break the pieces, make the mold, bring back the mold together, and after put the bronze inside. And it was a very, very difficult technique. I think it's an attractive price, because most of the time you see Yo on the market. We are much later in date. They are end of the Shang Dynasty or early Zhou Dynasty. And for a real collector of bronze, they will prefer always the Shang bronze. So we find them back in Japan or in Taiwan. But very few pieces of this quality in the museum, very few. I think we can count on the two hands, no more.